I mentioned earlier, but I've seen a whole bunch more of them since. A lot of carnival type foods here too, if you're interested. Look at that logo, it's a cat giving you the finger. And don't those means that's all the kills that this plane has gotten? I think that's what those little flags mean. So they have a bit of an oil leak. Back by the Super Company cameras, I don't think I really showed these planes. Look at that. That is awesome. Touch that thing right here. Look how cool that is. And they have some others over here I'm going to check out. Looks like this is a Boeing Stearman N3S3. This is a Tuskegee Stearman. I think this one you can actually go in.
See a little dome at the top there?
Josh.
Sounds some merchandise. Just wanted us to wait a few minutes before we can go in.
It's just too many people.
First off, introduce yourself.
My name is Josh. I am part of the crew here with the Valiant Air Command Warbird Museum. This is our C-47, our flagship aircraft. Tycho Bell stands for Titusville, Cocoa Beach, because that's what the airport where we're stationed at used to be. We're 501c3. We have a museum in Titusville. About 55 different aircraft. This particular aircraft is a combat veteran of World War II. It saw combat on D-Day, Market Garden, Battle of the Bulge, Operation Dragoon. And after the war, it flew in the Berlin airlift, and then it was sent to Norway, and then Denmark, flew in their air forces, and gave VIP transport, including the Danish Queen. It was built in 1942 in Long Beach, and in the early 80s, it came over to the U.S. for the first time again, and she's been flying with us ever since, still flies, and she's a pretty awesome aircraft.
Do you know about what year it was built?
1942, Long Beach, California.
And when did it officially retire from military service?
Officially retiring is something, I don't know the official date because it was sold to Norway and then Denmark, but it flew in the USAF, I believe, until 1950 because it did see action in the Berlin airlift when the Soviets cut off access to the city and they airlifted everything in. So at least until then.
Now, how did you guys get the plane?
I believe it was part of an exchange program. Obviously, unfortunately, I was not around in the 80s, but I believe it was sent from Denmark here, and it's all volunteer maintained and operated.
Can you talk a little bit about the maintenance that goes into this?
Yeah, so probably for every flying hour it does at least 3 hours of maintenance. I do a lot of cleaning and inspecting on the aircraft, mainly because that's how you find a lot of cracks and damage.
Call my dad.
Steve. Sorry about that. We have a mechanic on staff all the time. He used to fly DC-3s in Alaska. That's pretty awesome.
What does it cost to maintain this plane?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's definitely a lot. It's mainly because the aircraft, you know, most stuff isn't being produced anymore. They're not building any more DC-3s. There's only about 150 or 200 left in the world.
So what do you do?
More expensive.
Do you have to find old stock, or do you manufacture new parts?
It's a bit of both. Old stock gets more and more expensive. For example, the engines they send, they get overhauled. So no new engines other than the ones that already existed, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Does this need special license because it is a vintage plane?
I believe it's registered as an experimental aircraft, but as for special stuff, no. If you want to fly it, solo as PIC, you do need a type rating because it is over 12,500 pounds.
So who does fly it?
A small selection of volunteers at the museum. We dedicate all our time to keep her clean, keep her maintained, and flyer. She flies maybe anywhere from 1 to 4 times a month, depending on how busy we are. The main way we earn revenue to keep this really flying national monument in service is it does paradrops. Paratrooper operations. So you see that door right there. We'll close both, and then that door pops right out. So all the paratroopers hook up to the static line you'll see, and they jump out. So there are a few groups across Florida, like Brooksville, Denellen, Palatka, that jump out of this plane.
So does this get pressurized when you go up?
No pressurization. I believe the highest it's gone in the past, since I've been here, is 10,000 feet. And that was once for the Army. Usually we're jumping at 2,000–3,000 feet.
So, has anyone jumped from this recently, or is it just
this weekend? Yep, this weekend.
When you gotta fly this, do you need like special training to fly a vintage plane, or is it kind of similar, pretty much similar to say a modern one?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of time logged, so I can't speak too much about that. If you ask some of the folks up there, their pilots, they'll be able to tell you. From pilots that are very experienced that I've talked to, it has been described to me as just a really big cub. I can tell you from my experience, the ailerons on this thing are very heavy. Rudder is about normal, and the the elevators are a little lighter than usual. But special training, the aircraft, the biggest system here is the hydraulic system. We don't have our windshield wipers set to work because all the water blows off. But like, wipers are hydraulic; they're not electric. Gear, flaps, cowl flaps, all hydraulics.
I'm curious, did this have a bathroom on board?
It did. I talked to our maintenance guy about it, and he told me the first thing he did was take it out because it was too much. But I believe it did have a bulk. You can see back there. We use it to keep, just things we're bringing with us on operations. But it used to be back there. I believe it was put in when it served as a transport aircraft.
When they had to empty it, did they like do it on ground, or did they let it pour out when it's flying?
I am not sure. That probably varied between aircraft to aircraft, but that is a great question.
Yeah. All right, very cool.
Of course. Let me ask and see if they are ready to take it.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Guys ready?
Okay, go ahead.
So when you get up in the cockpit, you can ask the pilots, can go into a little more detail. But one cool thing about DC-3s, especially if you go check out Placid, Lassie, no cockpit is really the same. Most of the same. You've got 2 gear switches. But I'll let you go check out the rest. Have a good time.
Okay, thank you. Oh, cool. Look at this. This is awesome. Hi. Can we peek in there?
Yeah. If you want to wait for them to get there, make a nice.
Okay, sure.
Get a better shot.
It's really awesome. I haven't been over a plane like this since I was in the one called Fifi.
B-29. This is a C-47 cargo plane born in 1942. And was very involved in the war. Did D-Day, Market Garden, Battle of the Bulge, and the Berlin Airlift. So you're standing in a real part of history here.
Definitely. Is it okay going there?
Yes. Yeah. Take some pictures.
Wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. So who normally would this be the navigator
That would be
seat?
the navigator, and the radio operator would be over here, and all of these would be radios, but we have them all taken out. We have a jump seat right here that folds over, and that would be like kind of a flight engineer, and then the 2 pilots up front. It's normally a 5 or 6 person crew.
This is definitely...
This one's been converted to a DC-3 from a C-47, so they've moved a lot of the instrumentation up front, so it just takes 2 pilots to fly it.
Okay if I sit in there?
You can. Just don't move the flight control, please.
Yes.
They are locked from outside the aircraft, so.
Oh, they didn't make this for fat guys. I know that.
No, it doesn't matter how big you are. It's hard to get in and out of the front. It's just kind of a tight airplane.
I bet. Oh, there we go. So can you just talk a little bit about what some of these gauges and buttons do?
So all of our engine controls are right here. These are the throttles, mixtures, which controls the fuel to the engine, propeller controls. This controls the pitch of the propeller and adjusts the RPM of the engine. You got an RPM gauge here. There's 2 needles, 1 and 2, left and right engine. Manifold pressure is adjusted with the throttles. And you can see that there's 2 gauges that are on top of each other. There's 1 and 2, left and right. Oil pressure, and then fuel pressure. And then this big square right here used to be an autopilot, and it's been removed. It was an old primitive autopilot. Now we have 2 GPS navigator communication radios.
Was that difficult to integrate the newer technology with the older technology?
Not really. All you need is a power source and put some antennas on the airplane, and they work pretty good. All of our charts are on an iPad now, so we have an iPad holder up here with a power source that we can plug into. Left engine fuel selector. There's 4 tanks on the airplane, 200 gallons each, total of 800 gallons. It's about 8 hours worth of fuel. It burns 100 gallons an hour. The right engine's over here. And then you got just a sort of a similar set of flight instruments in the right seat as the left seat. Either pilot can fly it at any time.
So what's the max amount of distance you can go if it's fully fueled?
You know, I'd have to do the math, but it flies about 135 knots, and we can go 7 hours and still have an hour's worth of fuel left if we're topped off. So that'll give you kind of an idea. I'd have to bust the calculator out, but it's a good amount of distance. It's a lot longer than your bladder can take. People want to land and use the facilities before you run out of fuel. So,
now would the main pilot sit here on the left or the right?
Yeah, so the pilot in command's usually in the left seat, co-pilot's usually in the right seat, and then of course you saw the seats in the back for the navigator, radio operator, all those. So right now it's been converted to a DC-3, so we just have the 2 guys up in the front. That's the only crew required.
So when they're flying, I'm assuming this window's closed?
We actually leave them right about here, and all the air that comes in from the fuselage kind of comes up into the cockpit and flows out that opening right there, so we get a lot of airflow. It actually stays nice and cool.
So you get a breeze, you said, coming from down here?
Coming from in the fuselage in the back, and it kind of comes up into the flight deck and goes out the windows. It's a little bit of a low pressure area around the windows, so as the air rushes by, it kind of sucks air out.
Now, if someone was trained to be a modern pilot, to fly a more modern plane, would they be able to fly this, or do they need some special training?
This one requires a type rating to be a pilot in command. So it's actually listed as a DC-3 on your license when you get type rated. To be a co-pilot, you just have to have a commercial license, multi-engine license. You have to have a tail wheel sign off because it sits on its tail, and you can be a co-pilot. And then you need 3 landings and some emergency procedures training, and then you can act as a second in command.
Is all this glass original?
I actually don't know. I've only been volunteering at the museum for 3 years, and we have not changed any of this stuff since I've been there. It could be original. It could have been changed maybe 2 or 3 times.
Is it special glass or is it regular?
It's just regular glass.
Wow.
The side windows are Lexan plastic or some sort of polycarbonate. These windows are both glass. And then this is just a hatch that we just have it out so it stays a bit cooler in here, that's all.
Yeah, so there's definitely no air conditioner or heating in here, correct?
It is not, but when you get the airplane moving, it cools. And when you get it up higher, the higher you go, the cooler it is. And we flew here this morning, we flew out to the Kennedy Space Center at 2,500 feet, and it was chilly. We had jackets on. And we flew back maybe about an hour and a half ago, 4,500 feet, and it was very comfortable.
Okay, cool.
So, yep.
And what's your name?
Dante.
Okay, thank you. Now to get out.
Yeah, right foot kind of back here a little bit.
Okay.
And then you can grab onto this thing right here and kind of pull yourself up. There you go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tight right here with the flap lever. Just kind of weasel your way out. No graceful way.
Definitely not.
It takes me a bit to get in and out of it also.
Yeah, especially me when you have too many cheeseburgers in here. But, I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. Let me give you a quick card.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me just turn this off. That was cool, but definitely hard to get in and out of that cockpit. Let me show you a little bit better what that plane looks like from the outside. The last really old vintage plane I was in was Fifi, because I filmed for you guys. That was years ago now. That's cool. Oh, you can actually get some airplane rides. Don't think I'll be doing that, but one of the media companies that reached out to me offered me some free ones. I'm probably not going to do it, but it was an option. That thing. I might have to check that out. They actually have some Sun and Fun merchandise. Oh, look, they actually have lights on the front like that. I didn't know that.
You can just hear the like,
This is really cool, guys. I'm really enjoying this. It's a Placid Lassie. Let's take a look inside.
Oh, see these whole repairs.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go around the backside, there's a couple of ones down low.
Yeah.
Little circular patches.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, and real thin aluminum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not much protection.
Yeah. I'm a mechanic, so these are real familiar.
It is definitely roasty in these planes.
Covering that and things like that. So this airplane costs $45.
That fan feels great. Wow. Because it is roasting out there and in here. That's all the history this thing has seen. Look, I'm going to sit down for a second. See how it feels sitting in this plane.
Thanks, man. Yep.
This is really cool. Can you tell me a little bit about this plane?
Yeah, so this plane was built in 1943, so that makes it 83 years old. It's a true warbird, so it flew in World War II. Our primary mission was D-Day, so it flew for the Normandy invasion. And after that, there was Operation Neptune Garden, and you can read the rest of the operations out on the boards. But we carried paratroopers and cargo, so paratroopers would jump out the back, you know, they're soldiers.
Hmm?
And yeah, that was our primary mission. And it flew for 4 airlines after that. And here we are. Our owner converted it into a flying museum. So the public can, you know, appreciate the history.
And what model is this?
This is a C-47.
You know when this plane retired from military service?
I do not. I'm gonna look it up.
Probably not long after World War II ended.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy how tough these things are. They're going to shrug stuff like this off.
I know. Yeah, if I can guess, probably retired in 1948.
Okay.
Probably not, right? Are there any patched bullet holes on this thing?
That's a very good question.
I see plenty of patches, but I can't tell what they are.
So I'm actually still
But this is cool. I'm not going to stay in here long. There's others I want to look. Here's the cockpit from this one. Thank God they don't let people go up there, because that I would have to do, and then that'd be a tight fit for me.
That's cool of the owners, just to let people walk through it. This is
All these really cool like gauges.
Originally found it abandoned on a field in Georgia, and he bought it because
So much to think about all the.
200 grand. You know,
Think all the history here.
It beats a private jet for like 200 million. But
yeah.
So the owner bought it as a plane to take his friends to Oshkosh with. And at that air show, he found a gentleman that came up to him, and he was a radio operator on this plane during the war. So, and he was like, "Sir, you know the history of this plane?"
It's really cool.
And radio operator told our owner all about it, and so the owner like immediately afterwards
Yeah, I'm coming.
changed the name, changed the paint job, and opened
Thank you.
it.
Definitely a bit awkward going in up and down these. Okay, I'm not going to film going down that because I will fall and I don't want to show anyone that. Well, they do have a merchandise center. I just bought something. I'll show you quickly. I got one of those little bears. This is that mug. And I did get one t-shirt. And it's, you won't be able to see those people in front of it, but I got that yellow one. They have a good amount of selection here, so good souvenirs if you want. Thank you. Yeah, she was saying you can see everything on the wall, what they have, all the different kinds of souvenirs. Yeah, they have a good variety. Okay, I just want to film my end. I think I'm gonna go. I showed you a lot of cool planes, a lot of cool interviews and stuff, but there's still so much more here to look at. There's plane rides, there's so many vendors, there's just so much cool stuff. But it's a lot here. I'm gonna try to come, just a second. But I'm gonna try to come one more day on Saturday because my pass, guys, I could have came every day, all week. So I'm going to try to come one more day to show you more because there's so many cool aircraft to look at. And I haven't even got to show you too much of the stuff flying around. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Air shows are definitely extensive. Like I said earlier, very much overwhelming in a lot of ways for a YouTuber like me because there's so much here to check out. You really can't do it all in one day. You almost got to come almost every day to really do 100% of the job, and even then it's tough because there's like different events, question and answers, meet and greets, press conferences. Some happen at the same time as others. And look at all this cool military equipment right over here. So yeah, I'm going to try to come. Today's Wednesday. I'm going to try to come Saturday if I can. Right. We're gonna, wait a minute. Oh, let me show you something. Look at that really big beer can over there. And then here's some more military equipment and stuff. Helicopters and things. Like I said, I didn't even go down that way. There's just so much here. I'm actually heading out because I'm bushed. I've been here for hours and a lot of walking around. And it is hot. It's roasting out here. I definitely got to go. I got to take a pee and go to the bathroom and get some nice cold water. But yeah, there's a lot going on here. Definitely. They actually have a campground that's attached to this. You can actually camp at if you want to come to the air show too. I've seen it on the way in. Epic aircraft. Perfect name. I'm just trying to show you a few of the other things on my way in. I didn't even go through all the hangars where they had all the vendors, all the aviation connected equipment and merchandise and different stuff like that you could buy.
He's getting me all riled up.
But yeah, like I didn't even go down that path. There's, like I said, there's a lot here. There's a visitor center I didn't even get into. This is Lakeland Airport in Lakeland, Florida. Also, the Florida Air Museum is here too, which I vlogged that years ago. I want to come back and do it again, do like an update video, because it's been several years since I've been here. Plus, I have a much better camera than what I've used then. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, there's the Rays mascot. I forget what that cat's name. Yeah, there he goes. I didn't even know he was here. See that building over there, guys? I think I met Burt Reynolds in that building. There was a car show thing here. He was here signing autographs. And yeah, I met Burt Reynolds in that very building right there. DJ Kitty, I think that he's called.
It's kind of my dad, but not.
Is the name of that mascot.
Well, I told you when you got to the end, you're supposed to cut right.
I didn't even know he was here. Like, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Anyways, if I see anything else really cool, I will include it. I'm hoping to see that mascot again. It'd be cool to see him up close, get my picture with him. I don't know where he went though. Thank you for coming to Sun and Fun. Oh, one more thing, guys. I didn't film on camera, but I took a picture with him. There was Miss Plant City and Miss Polk County Teen USA, I think, beauty queen pageant winners. I saw him walking around there behind me when I was in this, doing the Super Guppy line, so I took a picture with him because several people actually went up to them and asked for their picture. So yeah, you know what? I might as well. So you'll see that in here too. Just headed out finally, and I want to show you that sweet looking playground. Looks like kind of like a, is that kind of like a rocket maybe? I don't know. But I know that would have been fun when I was little. Well, there's one of those Tesla Cybertrucks. Like I said, I vlogged this museum, Florida Museum. I'm going to come back and do it again. There it goes. It's been years though. I'm sure you can see that. Okay. I gotta get to the cars. I'm bush, guys. Not sure if you can see it, but there's more of those fighter jets. Here's one of these cool historical plaques I always like finding. This is the Polk County Heritage Site. Sun and Fun Flying. The Sun and Fun Flying was founded in 1974 by members of the Experimental Aircraft Association. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go closer and let you guys read it. If you want to pause it. This one's brown. Normally they're like blue or green. In front of the Florida Air Museum. Right? Yeah, in front of the Florida Air Museum front entrance. I like showing these things. And I noticed this, so, and I never filmed this one, I don't believe. Always really cool. Check this place out. I vlogged it years and years ago. I'm going to vlog it again, just checking out any updates. They always changing displays and stuff like that. There's those fighter jets again. I'm trying to catch them for you guys, but they're quick. Not too much lucky.